Hello, my friends. I am happy you are here. Imagine a small village, long ago, deep in the forests of West Africa. A man lies on the ground. He is sick, he is weak. He cannot work, he cannot walk far. His family is worried. An elder comes to help him. She carries a small, bitter seed in her hand. She breaks it open. She gives half to the sick man. Slowly, his body feels warmer. His mind feels clearer. His strength begins to return. Centuries later, on the other side of the world, another sick man will search for the very same seed. He will mix it in a metal pot, in his own backyard, hoping it can heal him too. And by accident, he will create a drink that billions of people now enjoy every single day. Today, we will listen to the story of Coca-Cola. Take a moment to relax and let this story help you on your English learning adventure. Part 1. A Sick Man's Medicine. The story begins in Atlanta, Georgia, in the year 1886. A man named John Pemberton lived there. He was a pharmacist. A pharmacist is a person who makes medicine. John was also a soldier once. He fought in the American Civil War. During the war, he was hurt. A soldier cut him with a sword. The wound gave him terrible pain. To stop the pain, John used a drug called morphine. Morphine helped his body, but it hurt his mind. John became addicted. He could not stop using it. This frightened him. So John decided to search for something new. He wanted a medicine without morphine. He wanted something safer. John worked in his backyard. He had a big metal pot. He mixed different plants together. He used coca leaves. He used cola nuts. Both plants had caffeine. Both plants made people feel awake and strong. But these two plants had their own long stories, long before John Pemberton ever touched them. Let us go back further, to West Africa, before we return to that backyard in Atlanta. Part 2. The Nut with Two Faces. Deep in the forests of West Africa, there grows a small evergreen tree. It produces a bitter seed called the cola nut. For many communities, this nut was never just food. Among the Igbo people, it was called the food of the gods. When a guest arrived at your home, you did not simply say hello. You broke open a cola nut and shared it together. This was a sign of honor and welcome. Among the Yoruba people, cola nuts were used in important ceremonies, weddings, funerals, even in rituals to look into the future. Scientists later discovered why this small nut felt so powerful. Cola nuts can hold more than twice the caffeine found in coffee beans. This caffeine keeps the mind alert. It sends more blood to your muscles and your lungs. It helps the body keep working, even when it is tired. But the story of the cola nut is not only beautiful, it is also painful. As early as the 10th century, cola nuts were sometimes used as currency to buy captured people across the Sahara Desert. Later, in the 16th century, European traders used the very same nuts to trade for enslaved people who were then forced onto ships bound for the Americas. Some of those enslaved people carried cola seeds with them. Hidden inside their clothing, hidden inside their hair, they carried a small piece of home across the ocean. In places like Jamaica, Cuba, and Brazil, some communities managed to grow cola again. Through this small nut, they held on to a part of their culture, even in captivity. Meanwhile, enslavers discovered something darker. They learned that cola gave people more energy, so they gave it to workers, not out of kindness, but simply to force more labor from exhausted bodies. By the late 1800s, pharmacists in Europe and North America became curious about this nut. They began mixing cola with something else, extract from the coca leaf, the same plant used to make cocaine. This combination became famous for one dramatic reason. In 1910, the explorer Ernest Shackleton led a team toward the South Pole. On the return journey, the team miscalculated their supplies. They ran out of food. Weak and desperate, They turned to tablets in their medical kit, tablets called Forced March, made from cola nut and cocaine. The tablets helped push their bodies forward. The team survived. This was the same combination, cola and coca, that John Pemberton used in his backyard pot back in Atlanta in 1886. Part 3. A name and a signature. John needed a name for his drink. His bookkeeper helped him. His name was Frank Robinson. Frank looked at the two main ingredients, coca and cola. He put the two words together. He changed the K to a C for a better look. Coca-Cola. Frank did something else important. He wrote the name by hand, in beautiful cursive letters. He used a fancy writing style called Spencerian script. That handwriting became the logo. It is still the logo today, more than 100 years later. Almost nothing in the business world has lasted that long, unchanged. In the first year, Coca-Cola did not sell well. John Pemberton spent about $70 advertising the drink. He earned back less than $50. It looked like a failure. John became sick. He never saw his drink become famous. Before he died, he sold pieces of his company to different people. He did not know what he was giving away. Part 4. The Man Who Sold an Idea. A businessman named Asa Candler bought the rights to Coca-Cola. He paid a small amount of money. Asa was not a chemist. Asa was a salesman. And he understood something powerful. It is not enough to make a good product. People must want it everywhere, all the time. Asa printed coupons for a free glass of Coca-Cola. He mailed them across the country. He put the logo on calendars, on clocks, on trays, even on fans that women carried in the summer heat. By 1895, Coca-Cola was sold in every state in America. But there was still a problem. Coca-Cola only existed inside pharmacies, from a fountain. If you wanted it, you had to sit down and drink it right there. Two lawyers had a different idea. What if people could carry Coca-Cola home? In 1899, they asked Asa Candler for the rights to bottle Coca-Cola. Asa did not believe bottling would succeed. He sold them the rights for $1. That $1 became one of the most expensive mistakes in business history. By 1903, one more thing changed quietly. The company removed all traces of cocaine from the recipe. The formula was shifting, and it would keep shifting for decades, always in secret. Part 5. A bottle shaped like a woman's dress. By the early 1900s, other companies were copying Coca-Cola. They made drinks with similar names and similar bottles. Customers were confused. Coca-Cola needed a bottle nobody could copy. A bottle you could recognize in the dark, just by touching it. In 1915, a glass company in Indiana designed a new shape. The designer looked at a picture. The picture showed a cacao pod, but he made a small mistake, and that mistake became the famous curved shape people know today. The result was the contour bottle. It curved in at the middle, like an hourglass. The new bottle worked. People could recognize Coca-Cola just by the shape, even broken, even in the dark. It remains one of the most famous package designs on planet Earth. Cold drinks had a problem. Winter. People believed cold drinks were only for summer. In 1931, Coca-Cola hired an artist named Haddon Sundblom to paint Santa Claus drinking Coca-Cola. Before this, Santa looked different in every picture, sometimes thin, sometimes green, sometimes frightening. Haddon painted a new Santa, round, cheerful, wearing bright red, the same red as the Coca-Cola logo. This Santa appeared every winter for decades. Slowly, he became the Santa Claus the whole world now imagines. Part 7. The drink that followed soldiers to war. In 1941, the United States entered World War II. The president of Coca-Cola made a promise. Every soldier could buy a bottle for 5 cents, anywhere in the world, no matter the cost. Coca-Cola built bottling plants near battlefields in Europe, in Africa, in the Pacific. Soldiers could drink something that reminded them of home. This was good for morale. It was also good for business. When the war ended, Coca-Cola already had factories in dozens of countries. It never needed to expand overseas later. It was already there. Part 8. The day the company almost destroyed itself. For 100 years, the Coca-Cola formula stayed almost the same. In 1985, the company changed the recipe, hoping for a sweeter taste. They called it New Coke. The public reaction was furious. People felt like something precious had been taken from them, like losing an old friend. Just 79 days later, the company brought back the original formula, calling it Coca-Cola Classic. People did not simply love a taste. They loved a memory, a piece of their own life, connected to this brown, bubbly drink. Remember the sick man from the beginning of this story? The one who found strength in a small, bitter seed shared by an elder in West Africa? That same seed traveled through centuries, through oceans, through pain and mistakes and quiet decisions, until it became a secret recipe locked away in a museum in Atlanta today, called the World of Coca-Cola. Millions of visitors walk past that vault every year, just to stand near a secret they will never learn. But here is something interesting. Coca-Cola did not become great in one single day. It did not begin as one clean, perfect recipe. It began with an ancient nut shared between neighbors in West Africa. It began with a leaf grown far away. It began with pain, with addiction, with a man searching desperately for something better. It began with a mistake at a soda fountain. Failure. Trial. One small change after another, across generations, across oceans, across cultures nobody expected to connect. My friend, your English is growing the very same way. Maybe today you understood every word of this story. Maybe today you understood only half. That is all right. That is normal. That is how every big thing begins, small, quiet, and easy to miss. Every new word you learn is one drop in your own pot. Every story you finish, even when it feels difficult, is one more day added to your own recipe. You will not see the change today. Pemberton did not see his own success either. But somewhere ahead of you, on a day you cannot yet picture, all these small drops will become something strong, something that is truly, fully yours. So keep listening. Keep learning one word at a time. Do not stop just because today feels slow. One day, your English will be like that bottle shape in the dark, something you know by heart, without even needing to think. If this story gave you a little motivation today, please take a moment to subscribe. It helps us keep telling stories like this, and keep learning English together, one small step at a time. Until our next story, be patient with yourself, be proud of how far you have already come, and keep walking forward on your learning adventure.